Hey, let's welcome in Oriole pitching prospect Zac Lowther. He's getting ready to head south to Sarasota, Florida, from Ohio near Cleveland, his winter home. And Zac, this is an exciting time, man. Spring training is days away. Here we go. And it's your first time as a member of the 40-man roster. You were added in November. What's your excitement level like right now, a few days away?
I'm really excited just to get into baseball again. I mean, get back to a little normalcy and get back to my job. Being able to kind of go down at normal time, not have to worry about you know getting shut down is probably on everyone's mind. But just excited to play again.
So you were in Sarasota last year before the shutdown of baseball as a non-roster invitee and gotten a few games and so forth. What was that experience like? How will it help you when you get there this time?
I think just the experience alone is a big factor for a lot of guys. Going down your first time is very nerve wracking and just kind of getting used to it. But being able to have that experience and know what to expect and everything is big. And I'm excited to kind of get another crack at big league camp and take advantage of it.
So Zac, take me back to last summer when you reported to the Bowie alternate site, and then later, a month or two after that, you went through Instructs, and you talked about it a little bit, how you were able to kind of work on your game while not in an actual game. You didn't have a box score staring you in the morning if it didn't go well. Was that beneficial? In what ways was it?
Yeah, I mean, all summer I worked on uh, myself, my development without outside competition, and being able to go to Bowie, get a read on what I was doing and how it was working was a lot of help. Just being able to see the results I had there in a controlled environment, and then going down to Instructs, you kind of just keep working on that and being able to understand what your body's doing, understand the end goal, and work around that to get there. So, I had some mechanical changes I wanted to make, some command changes or additions I wanted to make, and I made a lot of strides. I was very happy with the result that came from it. But I think that those controlled environments are probably the most beneficial for development and exactly what I needed this past year.
So without going over my head, which wouldn't be hard to do, by the way, what were some of the mechanical things you were looking at?
Trying to be more consistent in my delivery. In the past, I threw a lot of pitches, and that came from being inconsistent with the delivery standpoint. And as a starter, you want to go as deep as in the game as you can. So the less pitches you waste, the better off you'll be come the seventh, eighth, and ninth inning.
And pitch wise, Zac, were there in the last year, have there been specific pitches you worked hard on or aspects of it? If you look back at the last year and how you tried to improve your game, I'm sure there's 20 ways, 30 ways a pitcher can get better. Everything from nutrition, condition, pitch shape, pitch design, data. There's all these things. So what was important for you? What was near the top of your list?
Nutrition and health was number one. I was able to lose a little weight and get in better shape for the upcoming year. And then after that, it comes down to baseball, just being consistent with your workouts. For me, pitch design was a big key to it. Making sure I'm controlling the changeup with the movement that I want, being able to throw my curveball consistently the way that I need it to be. And then the fastball has always been there. So just being able to really command that whenever I want it is something that I looked for in my bullpens, being able to, you know, pick a spot, throw a fastball, changeup, and curveball in that spot and move on.
I remember talking to you guys at Twin Lakes in probably February, March of 2019, first year with Chris Holt as head of the pitching development program in Baltimore. And you young guys were real excited about the data, the analytics, the newness that was coming to the organization. Has that carried through? I mean, have you said this is really something I can sink my teeth into? This can help me.
Yeah, I think that everyone in our organization has benefited in one way or another from the plethora of knowledge that these guys bring, and they're always willing to just help you and create it to such an individual level that it's not a master plan. It's what works for Zac Lowther, what works for Michael Bauman, what works for Alex Wells. And they really sit you down and be like, this is where you have success. This is what we think you could work on. And it's they incorporate the analytics in a way that it's not all baseball or all analytics. It's a good mix to help you understand and help you get the best results possible.
Wow. And again, without going over my head, easy to do. Within that data analytics sphere, what really was big for you? Was it spin rate? Was it looking at the high speed, the video? What things really did you say, hey, I'm this can help?
Going back to the mechanical side, a lot of it was with inconsistencies. I had a lot of good throws that, they're like, keep that, bottle it up. And then we'd look at a bad throw and you kind of analyze it from a mechanical standpoint, a result standpoint, and say, if we clean this up a little bit, it'll jump to your other ones. If we, eliminate such and such movement, it'll help. You kind of get in a hole where you see a bad pitch might result in a good outcome, but you don't want to continue to do the bad thing and eventually it's going to come to bite you in the butt. So being able to kind of attack that early and take advantage of the time we have to eliminate those is probably the biggest takeaway for me.
So here's a question you probably get asked in almost every interview you've ever done since maybe the Cape Cod League or Xavier. You're always striking out a high number of batters without a big velocity fastball. And so when you analyze yourself, not just a scouting report from Baseball America or MLB Pipeline or any place that does it, we always hear, okay, he's got a good spin rate. He hides the ball very well. There's some deception in there. There's good extension as you extend, out towards the batter. What makes it work for you?
I think just being able to, um, you lose me, sorry. Being able to kind of go back to my mechanics. I've been tweaking them ever since, beginning of college, and I think I'm at a point now where I'm consistent enough to where all my deceptiveness, all the stuff that made me have success in previous years is still there, but I'm fine tuning a lot of it to where, I don't need that overwhelming fastball. Yes, it helps when you throw 100, but I have what I have and I'm trying to build on it, but I'm just going to attack the zone and make you work for it. I know my strengths. I know the hitter strengths and weaknesses, and being able to stick with what I have is probably the biggest thing. I always have a lot of confidence in myself going against pretty much anyone.
Confidence is a key word, and I think the few times I've talked to you and gotten to know you, I think it's big for you. And I think it seems to me, analyzing it from my end, you have it in a right place. You don't go, you're not cocky thinking I can just get any hitter out anytime, but you're confident that you belong as you move up, and what you have works. And I think you're that because it has worked everywhere you've gone. I mean, is that some of the fuel, some of that confidence?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I have a chip on my shoulder, but I have that sense that I do belong, but so does the hitter, and I'm not going to take him lightly. I mean, they're there for the same reason I am, and we both have a job to do. So I'm going to stick with what I've practiced for 20 years and be able to kind of stick with that and hope for the best.
The game is filled with pitchers who have had success throwing a fastball 89, 90, 91, whatever it may be. I love to watch a Kyle Hendricks pitch. I mean, this is a craftsman at work. And so I think guys like you and Alexander Wells, who you're constantly linked to as well, because you guys have been moving up the same path, um, that's what you do. And when you, at the end of the game, and I'm sure you've thought this many times, when that box score looks great, no one's going to ask you what your velocity was that night. They're just going to say, heck of a game that kid pitched.
Yeah, yeah. Velocity is the fans' favorite number just because it pops up in front of their eyes every pitch. And while it is great to throw hard, I still take pride in throwing strikes, being able to command the zone with all my pitches and keeping the hitter off balance. So I think that we obviously train to throw harder. We train to push our bodies, and being able to kind of incorporate that into actually pitching too is important. And I think that's what the organization keeps an account for every individual. I'm not I'm not Michael Bauman. I don't throw 100 with a wipeout slider, and they take that into account, and each one's graded differently. We both have great results, and we both do it differently.
That's the key. You both have great results, and that's the bottom line. If you can get him pitching underhanded, pitch underhanded. The job is
Exactly.
get outs, and you guys do it well. And speaking of Michael Bauman and Alexander Wells and other guys, DL and Grayson and all these talented pitching prospects the Orioles have, is there a kinship you guys are developing or have developed, knowing we're the future?
Yeah, I mean, being down at Bowie with all those guys was really fun. You kind of, as you come up with them, you're around them in spring training. You're always with these guys that are good. You know that they're going to be with you one day. So the friendship and the bouncing back and forth with ideas, and uh, how my outing went, and just all that stuff it's beneficial. We all learn from each other, and we're all pushing each other to get better in a friendly environment, in a teammate environment. And being able to kind of do that is special, because you don't always get to come up through the ranks with that many people. So being able to stick together, have a good core group of us is really cool to see. And just I mean, they're all good players, so the success kind of comes naturally for them, and being able to kind of continue that with them is really fun.
And I thought about this before. You're competing with your friends, but here's the bottom line to it. You all want to get to the Orioles and be in that rotation. If you pitch well, you all will get a chance. There's never been in the history of the game a guy who had a 250 ERA for 8 straight years at AAA, and some team didn't call on him to pitch. So it occurs to me that while there's a lot of good pitchers and you're all friends, you're helping each other, you're also competing. Yes, you are in a bigger sense. But the bottom line is there will be a chance for you if it goes the way you want it to go. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, I mean, I'd never want to see any of those guys fail. Just you know, from my standpoint, I hope that they don't want to see me do the same. So I want the best for them, and I can really only control what I do. If I go out there and stink, yeah, there's probably a reason why I'm not getting called up. But I can only control what I do and hope for the best for them. I'm never going to be jealous of their success, because they earned it. You know, they worked their butts off, and they got to the point where they aspired to be. So that's the way I look at it. And when it's our time, we'll get there. And until that point, we're just going to keep working.
Well, I think fans could see today, Zac, what I've known since I first met you is that you're a good guy, you're driven, and if you're the future of the Orioles, it's probably in pretty good hands. So good luck to you and all the guys in Sarasota, and we'll be watching you this year.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you, Steve.